Hello, everybody. I know you've had a great meeting. When Rusty called and invited me to speak, it just broke my heart that I was not able to come and speak to you personally. But I'm, excited about having a chance to spend a few minutes with you and talk to you about what I think the most important thing it takes to win big in business. I spent last night, we had my daughter and six of my grandbabies and great-grandbabies in our house last night. We went out to the club for dinner. We got home about 9 o'clock. They were running around the house, and we settled everybody down and they started watching a movie. And so like I did, in my A.O. Williams career, planning Monday morning TVs, I always wanted to wait to the last minute and talk to you about something that we need to get better on right now. And so I always plan my Monday morning TV meetings on Sunday night. And so I went to my private room where I planned all my Monday morning TV meetings, and that's my bathroom on the potty, my throne as I call it. And so I went in about 10 o'clock and I sat down with, my paper and I just started thinking about what is the most important thing I could talk to you about as you conclude your meeting here. And, this is it. So we'll see how it goes. But I believe the most important life lesson I learned in my 72 years is you learn best by doing it. Well, one of the most useless things I think you can get in your life is a business degree from Harvard and Yale and Georgia. I had 3 kids, grandbabies, graduate from Georgia in business. And the reason I say it's so useless is because these professors ain't ever done nothing. And I believe you learn by doing. I believe you learn by listening to people that have done it. And so you look at our country's in a heck of a mess in so many areas today. It just breaks my heart about how low we've sunk in our country today. And I think one of the primary reasons for that is our leaders in Washington. Most of those jokers ain't ever done nothing. They don't know nothing. They can't make any of the right kind of decisions to make our country better. And it just makes me mad. And so anyway, I think the first thing I want to do with you is I want to talk about A.O. Williams, and not to brag about what we did, but it was a historic company. It was a historic happening in our country. I'm a very visual person, and I've had a hard time over the years trying to explain. I mean, I wrote the coach book, and when I got through with it, I wasn't totally happy with it. I've never been able to really verbalize and show the magnitude of the achievement of A.O. Williams. It was historic. It was mind-boggling. And so I did this little red brochure, and on the front page it says, March 1967, part-time. That's when I was coaching football in Columbus, Georgia. I started part-time. And then it shows on the second page, February 10, 1977, when A.O. Williams was founded. And we had 85 licensed people in Atlanta, Georgia. And our crusade was buy term and invest the difference. And then I showed the competition. Our passion was to destroy cash value life insurance. It's the biggest screw job that's ever been put upon the American consumer. And we just wanted to kill that product. And February 10, 1977, the enemy had 250,000 agents. Now look at that, one dot in Atlanta, Georgia. They had 250,000 agents. There was 2,000 companies. There was 50 state regulators, all of them controlled by the industry. I mean, I could sit here and talk to you 4 hours about just the wars the regulators, put on us, because they were controlled by the industry. As an example, they had a regulation that you could lose your license if you replaced a cash value life insurance with term. If you replaced a $10,000 whole life policy with a $100,000 term, they call that twisting. You could lose your license. But if you replaced a $100,000 term policy with a $10,000 whole life policy, They call that conversion. That was good. It was so hypocritical. It was so unconstitutional what they did with us. In my 20 years in the business, I can't remember one day, not one single day, that we didn't have a major war going on with the regulators. They're trying to regulate us out of business, and all that kind of stuff. But just look at the enemy where they were, the biggest, most powerful industry in the world, and little old A.O. Williams here starting in Atlanta, Georgia. But we had a dream. We had a dream that one day we were going to destroy the concept of cash value life insurance. In 1977, 90% of all life insurance sold was trash value and only 10% term. And then you look 12 years later, December 31, 1990, A.O. Williams had 225,000 agents in every state, in Canada, in Puerto Rico. We were number one for 7 straight years. Not only number one, we beat number 2 Prudential, number 3 New York Life combined. There were 2,000 companies in our industry at that time, and out of the top 100 companies, 34 of our people, like Bobby and Rusty, their teams, their individual teams, 34 of our giant teams at A.O. Williams were in the top 100 of all companies. It was historic. It was impossible what we did. And what made A.O. Williams special? I want to talk to you about the one thing. I'm always looking for the thing, the common denominator, the one thing. Not almost the one thing, but the one thing that all these great people did to build this historic company and to build financial independence for their families for generations to come. So today I'm going to tell you about that one thing. And let me tell you this, it's impossible in my mind for you to win big without this one thing. Yes, you can make a living and you can get by and all this kind of crap, but I'm talking about doing something incredible, doing something that when you look back, like when you get old like me, 72 years old, and you look back at your life and you look in the mirror, people ask me all the time, what is winning to you, Art? And I best can define it by saying, when you look in the mirror, you and only you know if you did it, if you did your best, if you did something you're proud of. And when I look in the mirror and I look at what A.O. Williams did and I see Art Williams in my most private moments, I say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you did. And that's what I want for you. So I wanted to look at all these great people in A.O. Williams that did something historic, that did something absolutely impossible, and try to help you find that one thing that they all did. Not almost all of them, every single one of them did. The first thing I think you need to understand is why we built A.O. Williams. We built A.O. Williams on 2 important principles. You've got to build your company on a sound foundation. And number 1, we were crusaders. We built crusaders. We were on a mission to destroy trash value life insurance. We wanted to kick Prudential's butt. We wanted to become number 1 in the largest industry in the world. Impossible goals. You've got to have big goals in your life if you want to do something big. And number 2, the second principle we built A.O. Williams upon is we recruited a different kind of person. This was back to the part-timer concept. You've heard me tell my story. We built it on a part-time concept so we could recruit a different kind of person. So see, the life insurance industry back in the 50s and the 60s when I came in the business, it was a full-time life insurance salesman concept that all these companies were built upon. A.O. Williams brought to the industry the part-time concept. And full-timers, people in middle America out there, they don't see themselves selling life insurance. I mean, the only people they think that sell life insurance are low-life scum buckets that can't do nothing else for a living. A.O. Williams wanted to go into communities and recruit the best kind of men and women. People that had families and friends and respected positions, and we didn't want them to give up their full-time guaranteed jobs and roll the dice and going into sales and all that kind of stuff. We wanted to be a very comfortable entrance into the world of business. And so A.L. Williams recruited a different kind of person. We weren't so pretty. We weren't so smart, but we'd get after your fanny in a minute, I'll tell you that. And you know what? Look at this common denominator. This is what all the A.L. Williams Giants did. They had this attitude. Let me tell you about the attitude of all the winners in A.L. Williams. I loved it. I loved it. I didn't like it. I loved it. Folks, can you imagine? It's 74 years old. I retired in 1990. I've been retired 24 years now, and I still love it. I still love it. I still love talking about Prudential and what a bunch of scumbuckets they are. I still love talking about what a screw job cash value life insurance is. I'm still talking about my daddy dying and my mother suffering financially because he was sold the wrong kind of insurance. Daddy of one of my football players coming in and asking me, I had 2 children, Angela, Art, and April, and he said, how much can you afford on insurance? And I said, $20 a month. He said, well, I can sell you $15,000 whole life policy. And I found out 5 years later at a family reunion from my cousin, who was an accountant, that term insurance was the only way to go. And for the same money I was paying for $15,000 trash value, I could buy a $150,000 term. And I got him mad on. I loved it. I didn't like it. See, I believe you win with your heart, not your head. You got to love it. If you love it, you can do anything. If you want to be somebody, nobody can stop you. If you want to stand for something, I love the fight. If you can still compete, if you hate your job, if you need extra income, if you've been kicked around by your teachers and your coaches and your boss and your companies and maybe even your family, but you can still believe there's something still in you, a flicker of light in you where you can still believe that you're special, that you're different, that you can be somebody, that you want to make a difference with your life. If you want to get out of debt, if you want to see the world, if you want to start your own business, if you want a bigger home, if you're tired of 9 to 5 forever, if you want financial freedom where nobody can put their thumb on you and squeeze you and you can tell the world to take a flying leap, if you live only for the weekends, if you want meaning in your life, if you want to play on a team again, if you don't mind being controversial, I love being controversial. If you want to hit somebody in the wrong color jersey, if you want to correct an injustice, I love the war. I didn't like it. I love the dadgum war. I love getting after those people in the wrong color jerseys. If you want to look in the mirror and like what you see, if you want your wife or your husband and your kids to say, I'm proud of you. If you've been screwed by the trash value industry like I was, like my mother was, and you want to pay somebody back, if you want to knock somebody down and rub their nose in it, if you want to punch their lights out, that's who we were. That's the attitude we had in business. That's what made us great. That was the spirit in A.L. Williams. There was a toughness. There was a goodness. There was a passion. We loved it. We dadgum loved it. See, how did A.L. Williams do it? How did we do the impossible? I believe we played with our heart. Coach Lombardi, the great coach of the Green Bay Packers, right before he died, he had a meeting of business leaders in Washington, D.C., and there were about 500 people there, and he told these people, he said, now, get ready. I'm fixing to tell you the secret to winning in business. And there was a hush came over the room. Everybody was silent. Everybody wanted to hear the great man tell them the secret. And Coach Lombardi said, the secret to winning in business is heart power. It's heart power. You capture a man's heart, you capture the man. That's what A.L. Williams did first. We built Crusaders. We spent time early in our relationship with the new recruits, capturing their heart, making them feel good about A.L. Williams, making them feel good about buy term and invest the difference. having them understand how we can go out there and correct an injustice. See, Prudential sold life insurance for a living. A.O. Williams sold life insurance to correct an injustice. What a powerful advantage we have. See, I believe you went on emotion. I believe you went on feelings. See, people can smell a phony a mile away. See, I might not sell everybody. I might not recruit everybody. But everybody dadgum sure knows where I stand every time. I ain't no dadgum fence sitter. A.O. Williams took a stand. We took a position. Yes, people tried to pull us down, knock our heads off, say bad things about us, but that didn't matter. We knew we were right, and we took a dadgum stand. We were totally passionate, 100% passionate, 100% crusaders. That was our edge. See, A.O. Williams was not about business. It was and it wasn't. A.O. Williams was not about making big money. It was and it wasn't. Our people made gigantic fortunes. A.O. Williams was so much bigger than that, even so much bigger than building financial independence. A.O. Williams was the thing that A.O. Williams did that I'm so proud of is we gave our people a chance to change their life, to change their dadgum life, not just to go out and correct an injustice, not just to destroy trash value life insurance, not just to change an industry, not just to become #1 in the largest industry in the world, not just to win 7 straight national championships, not to become financially independent and change your family's financial future for generations. We gave you a chance to change your life. We gave you a chance to change your life. That was why A.O. Williams was so special to me and those other 225,000 people. Hey, let me talk to you about the attitude of a winner. See the difference in the winner and the loser. This is hard to me. The difference in being great and average and ordinary, that's scary. The difference in being great and average and ordinary is this much. People, is this dadgum much. It's so little, it's almost too scary to talk about. And this much is a special kind of mental toughness. I wanted to beat Prudential so bad, it was unbelievable. I wanted to destroy cash value insurance so bad, it was unbelievable. I wanted to pay those jokers back for what they did to my mama and what they did to me and Angela so bad. It was unbelievable. You gotta be a fanatic. You gotta develop a special kind of mental toughness. This much is a special kind of desire. Folks, I don't know why I'm like I am, but my butt's always burning. You know, I always want to do more. You know, I can't ever recruit enough people. I can't ever build enough RVPs. I can't ever make enough money. I can't ever save enough money. Dadgummit, you gotta be a fanatic. That's the difference. Just that little edge. You gotta have a special kind of hunger to be somebody. You got to have a special kind of hunger to be somebody. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted Angela and my kids and my grandbabies and now my 5 great-grandbabies. I wanted to look at me and say, man, he was different. He was special. I'm proud of my husband or my daddy or my papa. Now, I'm talking to you about this edge. This thing right here. The difference between great and average and ordinary. You know, let me talk to you about the attitude of a winner, how those A.O. Williams people did it, how they did the impossible. And the attitude of a winner is, just give me a chance. All I want's a dadgum chance. A chance to prove that I'm a stud, that I'm a winner, that I'm special. All I want's a chance. Just give me a dadgum chance. See, I knew when I joined this business full time, I knew most people weren't going to do it. I knew when I founded A.O. Williams that 98% of the people weren't going to do it. I knew that people like me, a football coach with a PE degree, most people like me are not supposed to do it. Hey, can you imagine Art Williams now going downtown, let's say Atlanta, Georgia, applying for a job at one of these big fancy companies that have one of these big towers downtown, big famous company, and I walk into the door, and I say, where's the personnel office? And they take me to the personnel office, and they say, well, what are you here for? And I said, I'm here to apply for a job. And the lady says, well, what job are you here to apply for? I said, well, what's the top job in this company? And she says, well, it's the president. I said, well, that's what I want to be, the president. Give me an application. And she said, well, what's your background? I said, well, I'm a football coach with a PE degree. And she says, well, throw up. You got to be kidding me. You think somebody like you could be president of this big famous company? You got to be kidding me. See, no big company would hire somebody like me and give me a chance to go to the top, to do my own thing. You know, and I ain't nothing but a dadgum double stud. See, the A.L. Williams people were so dadgum frustrated and mad about being put down for all these people, these companies, these bosses, these people trying to make us feel like we're supposed to be a peon, that we might be good enough to be a little district manager, you know. But they want to put a ceiling on our head, on our opportunity because of who we are, where we came from. A.L. Williams wanted to blow that ceiling up. All we wanted was a chance. At A.L. Williams, we gave you a chance. We gave you a chance. See, A.L. Williams wouldn't beg you to do it. A.L. Williams wouldn't wait for you to do it. See, this A.L. Williams train, folks, has already left the station. See, we ain't going to wait for you. We ain't going to beg you. He said, see, we left this train's gone. We had started a war. The fight had already started. We were going to kick Prudential's butt with or without you. We were going to change an industry. We were going to do the impossible. If you wanted a chance, we're going to give you a chance, but you better jump on board. See, so far now, when I'm talking about this much, the key, the difference, the one thing that 100%, not almost everybody, but 100% of all the winners did at A.L. Williams. See, I hadn't talked yet about products. I hadn't talked about commission. I hadn't talked about Primerica. You see, products don't win for you. Compensation don't win for you. Primerica don't win for you. A.L. Williams don't win for you. Your RVP don't win for you. Training don't win for you. The key to winning is you. It's your passion. It's your belief. It's you. It's all about you. You gotta love it. You can't like it. The greatest definition of a winner I ever heard is almost everybody can stay excited for 2 or 3 months. A few people can stay excited for 2 or 3 years, but a winner will stay excited forever. See, you can't ever lose your passion. Can you believe it? 72 years old, retired, 24 years, and I still love it? I still love the fight. I still love what A.L. Williams stood for. You can't ever lose the passion. A.L. Williams was built to give you a chance to change your life. To change your life, folks. How important is that for somebody like you that came from where you came from? With your background, with your education, who out there is going to give you a chance to do something gigantic? But it's up to you. You got to get tougher. You got to get more committed. You got to get more determined. You got to work harder. You know, I want you to have better products. I want you to get more commission. I think that's Primerica's responsibility to give you a competitive edge out there. But none of that crap matters if you ain't ready, if you ain't doing the right things. Listen to this, folks. If you don't change, let me tell you something scary. Just look at the past. Go look in the dadgum mirror, and your future is going to be just like your past. Ain't that scary? Ain't that scary? And you know what? You know what? Most of you are probably saying right now, Art, this is a pile of it. Art, I didn't come to Vegas to listen to this crap. Well, you know what? Don't let the door hit you in the dadgum butt. Don't let the door hit you in the dadgum butt. We'll put a dadgum uniform on you.
We'll give you a dadgum chance, but if you're a dadgum pansy,
we'll run you off. Or we'll make it so dadgum tough you'll quit. See, you know what? Most of you are probably saying right now, I came to Vegas to learn how to prospect, to learn how to recruit, to learn how to build a big base shop, to learn how to get referrals, to overcome objections, how to close a sale, how to make $1 million. And you know what? If that's what you want, go to Tom Hopkins. Go to all these sales trainers. Go to Tony Robbins. Go to Harvard and get your dadgum MBA. See, you know what? I'm just a dadgum old football coach. But I did it. And I saw thousands and thousands and thousands of other people that did it. And I know what it takes to win because I did it. I won. I'm a dadgum winner. And see, you know what I do as a coach? You know what I do as a new recruit? See, I don't deal with all this stuff these sales trainers teach you first and all this kind of crap, okay? See, I deal with your heart first. I deal with your passion first. I deal with your attitude first. See, all the other business crap is easy. Any dum-dum can get a license. There ain't nothing special about that. Any dum-dum can learn how to recruit and sell and give a presentation and all the business stuff. That's easy. What I want to know first is how much you love it. How much you want it. How tough you are. Can I trust you? Can I count on you when we're in that foxhole out there fighting the enemy? Will people believe in you? Will people follow you? And you know what? You know what? That's A.O. Williams. That's A.O. Williams. You just heard it. That's A.O. Williams. That's who we were. That's all it is. We didn't know nothing about business. We didn't have no money. We didn't have no backup. You know, all we had was this. And then I found out that all that other stuff, you'll get it. You'll get what you need. Primerica will give you everything you need. But if you don't have this, there ain't no hope. You got to love it. You got to be passionate. And you can't ever lose it. The reason we kicked Prudential's butt. The reason we became number one. The reason we changed an industry. The reason we produce more $100,000 earners and more millionaires in our era than any other company is we loved it more than the enemy. We loved it more than Prudential. We wanted it more than Prudential. A.O. Williams was just plain tougher, more committed, meaner, wouldn't quit than those folks in the wrong color jerseys. See, the bottom line is we trained A.O. Williams people to kill trash value life insurance. In 1977, 90% of all life insurance sold was trash value, only 10% term. In 1990, 90% of all life insurance sold was term and 10% trash value. We changed an industry. We changed the largest industry in the world. With people like me, people like Rusty, people like Bobby. Folks, it's all about your passion. You got to love it. You can't ever stop loving it. And you got to find people that love it. So the first part of this much is your passion. Now, the second part of this much, the difference between being great and average and ordinary, is building trusting relationships. Now, how do you build trusting relationships? I believe there are two keys. Number one, you must show your people you really care about them. I mean, really care about them, really love them. You hurt when they hurt. You cry when they cry. I mean, you build strong personal relationships with them and their family and their dreams. You care about them. You really do, and you show it. You don't just care about them. You show them that you care about them. How do you show you really care? By spending time with them,
Let me give you an example. The recruiting process. You know, at A.O. Williams, we don't throw a lot of crap up against the wall like most companies. Some stick, some don't. You know, the recruiting process is 8 to 10 hours. The first interview is 1 hour. You know, the opportunity meeting is an hour or two. The second interview is another hour. Then you do 3 field training sales, another 3 or 4 hours. You bring them to dinner to your home. You go out to take them to a ball game. You play golf. You know, the whole recruiting process, you're building these crusaders, is 8 or 10 hours. You don't just recruit somebody and say sick 'em. You got to build crusaders. Another example. Folks, now, I never in 20 years made a sale on the first interview. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in pressure. I used to tell people when I first went in the house, I said, look, take your hand off your pocketbook. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't believe in selling on the first interview. I want to build a relationship first. I want that person, that family, that husband and wife to trust me, to feel good about them. So I tell them my personal story. I let them know I was just like them. I'm not there to say anything. And then at the end of my first presentation, I offer to pick up their policies and financial information, and I'll take it back and I'll study it and I'll prepare an analysis and a comparison and take it back to them. And you spend time. I never made a sale on the first interview. Now, I know I've heard so many Primerica people say, well, Art, that was back then where everybody had cash value life insurance. Now they don't have it, and we need to sell them on the first interview so they got protection when I leave. Bull. All I know is A.O. Williams had 225,000 people. We were number one in the industry way up here, and y'all are way down here. For 20 straight years, we grew. And I wish y'all could grow. If it's just a little bit, dadgummit, grow. It takes time. You got to spend hours building crusaders. Don't sell on the first interview. Build these trusting relationships. And the only way you do that is by spending time. In building trusting relationships, you gotta have ability. I call this a coach's heart, but you gotta have the ability to always look for the good in people. I've met very few people in my life that don't have some goodness in them. But they've been so beat up, they've been so put down that they forgot what it was like to believe in themselves, to believe that they grew up a dreamer in high school. When they were young, man, they wanted to go conquer the world, but then they got dumped out in the big bad world, and people start lying to them and screwing them and use them, and they just gradually lost their ability to dream and to hope. You got to become an expert on finding that goodness. And you sell hope and opportunity. That's what all the giants did in A.O. Williams. We didn't sell life insurance and investments. We didn't, by term invest the difference was our crusade, but dadgummit, we sell hope and opportunity. We gave people a chance to feel good about themselves again, to get excited about something again, to go out and hit somebody in the wrong kind of jersey, on the wrong color jersey again. Praising your people. You got to become an expert on praising your people. It's got to be spontaneous. It's got to be a way of life. Write letters. I'm a great letter writer. I still don't have a cell phone. I still can't text nobody, you know, but I'm a great letter writer. I think for the last 40 years, I've written a letter almost every day to somebody telling them I love them. I'm thinking about them. I'm proud of them. You got to know everybody's first name on your team. You know, you do T-shirts. Back when we didn't have any money to do recognition, you got to be real creative. We became famous for doing T-shirts, put hero across it, and you give it out for recognition, or I am somebody, or I am a stud. See, nobody wants a boss. Listen to this, folks. Nobody wants a boss. You've got to understand human nature. You've got to understand the hurt that people are in out there, how they're suffering out there, how they've been beat up and put down. And I don't care what anybody says, the economy is worse today than it's ever been. My grandbabies that are graduating from college today, their future looks bleaker, it hates like crap for me to say it, than it's ever been. And A.O. Williams was one bright, shining star out there that would give people a real chance to really do something, to stand out above the crowd out there. See, nobody wants a boss. Everybody hates bosses. Nobody wants a boss. But everybody needs a coach. See, coaches believe to get the best out of people, you got to learn how to praise them. It's got to be spontaneous. It's got to be an all-the-time thing. Bosses believe you get the best out of people by criticizing them, by threatening them, by intimidating them. Bull. Coaches have the ability. You've got to develop the ability as a leader if you want to do something great and produce people that do something great. You've got to have the ability to look inside the person and find their hopes, to find their dreams, to find their strengths. And then you take those and you build them up. You make them feel special. Folks, if you want to win big, you got to do the big things, the important things. It's Mickey Mouse getting a license. It's Mickey Mouse learning to recruit people. You know, all the business things. Anybody can do that. But you understand what I'm talking about? All this crap here. This is what makes, this is the dadgum difference between winners and losers. And you know what, Rusty and Bobby? Angela has a fit when I do this. She said, Art, you look like you're mad. I wish you could just talk like a civilized human being. I mean, you get up there and you start screaming and hollering and all that kind of stuff. Dadgummit, that's what made us different. I love it. I'm tough. I'll fight y'all. You want to fight me? Bring your dadgum lunch, Prudential, because we'll fight all day, all tomorrow, and all the next dadgum day. I'm in this thing to win. This is not Mickey Mouse. This is not playtime. We don't play nice. We play to win. If you're in the wrong color jerseys, we're going to knock your butt off. So I don't know. I don't know where, you know, Primerica's probably too professional for this. I mean, y'all have tried to clean this thing up probably, you know. You don't talk like this anymore. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm only saying that because I look at the dadgum numbers. Y'all are way down here, and we were way up here, so y'all ain't doing something right, okay? And I think it's the heart things. I think it's the heart things. I think so many people in Primerica are in it for the money. They're in it for the business. Nothing wrong with that, but that ain't first. That ain't the most important things. This is what always, hey, you see this? You see this? This is all heart stuff. We built Crusaders. To win big, you got to become a coach. You got to become an expert on praising people, an expert on recognition. See, coaches sell hope. Coaches sell dreams. Bosses sell insurance. Bosses sell investments. Bosses are always talking about how much money you can make. Coaches are always talking about winning in life, having a great family, having great character, having a great work ethic, having good morals, becoming financially independent. Coaches are like a dadgum magnet. People are drawn to them like bees to honey. You know, at A.O. Williams, we created this atmosphere. I used to talk about to all those 225,000 A.O. Williams people. I said, folks, don't take for granted this incredible, powerful culture. It's like a big old cocoon that we built around A.O. Williams, where everything is positive. Everything is go, go, go. Everybody wants you to win. Everybody was a cross-pollination in A.O. Williams. Rusty was talking to Bobby's group. Bobby was talking to Rusty's group. Jenny was talking to Bob Turley's group. And on and on and on. Everybody wanted everybody at A.O. Williams to win. We were a team. We were in a dadgum war against Prudential and against the industry. We created this incredible cocoon. Let me tell you something. It's got to be in your house too. It's got to be with your kids and your grandkids. I want you to put this on this sums up A.O. Williams. It's got to be a way of life. Praising people, looking for the good things in people, creating an environment that's totally positive, totally excited, totally, you can count on me. I'll be here especially when it's tough. I ain't ever quitting. I ain't ever going to lose faith in you. I don't care how tough it gets. I'm here to fight with you until the end. This morning, I walked through Angela's room as I was fixing to leave to come down and tape this thing. My 6-year-old granddaughter, Evie, my oldest of 7, 6 years old, she left this on Mama Too's, that's Angela, that's what they call her, Mama Too. She left this on her mirror on her desk. I love you, Mama Too. I love you, Mama Too, so much that I cannot stand it. Love, Evie. That's A.O. Williams. That's this much. That's why we were up here and y'all are down here, because we loved it. We created this culture that was so positive. And people just knew we were going to give them a chance. And they just wanted some company to give them a dadgum chance and to be there to fight with them. And we're going to fight with you. We ain't going to let you down. We're going to be there for you, especially when times are tough. How did we beat Prudential? Prudential sold life insurance to make a living. A.O. Williams gave people a chance to change their lives. I'm going to go through just a couple of business things real quick, because we did have great business principles at A.O. Williams. We had a great foundation. It wasn't any Mickey Mouse company. We always got better. We always come out with better products, better commissions, you know, better things for our people to use in the field across the kitchen table. Let me just give you a few examples, and you got to build your business on strong foundations. We had 5 fundamental business foundations we were built upon. Number 1, we built Crusaders first. I used to spend hours. You can't be around me and not get energized. I'm going to electrify your butt. If I recruited you like I recruited Rusty and Bobby in the business, I built Crusaders. I spent whatever time it was for them to love it like me. I wish I had time to tell you my personal story and how much I loved it. And that's what carried me through the tough times. We built Crusaders first, and Crusaders die hard. Number 2, we sell buy term and invest the difference 100% of the time. We love being controversial. A lot of people, they can't stand being controversial. Angela don't like the controversial part of it, you know. I love it. I love it. Number 3, we recruit part-timers because we get better quality people. That's the reason we did it. And it was the most efficient way to bring people into business. I'll talk about that in just a second. Number 4, we train in the field. It just breaks my heart to see people send people to these field trainers, you know, and the new recruits are paying these $200 to go to hear this professional sales trainer, and then they spend another few $100s on their books and tapes, and you're screwing your people so bad. There's so many reasons not to do it. It just breaks my heart. See, I wouldn't let that happen in A.O. Williams. We didn't do that. The only kind of training we did is in the field. One of our foundational principles is you learn best by doing it. I want you to watch a stud do it. Your upline, do it. And number 5, you do it first. A.O. Williams was built on being a leader, and leadership is showing people, not talking it, showing people how to do it. If you want your people to recruit, you recruit first. If you want your people to make money, you make money first. You do whatever you want your people to do first. Show them the way. Don't talk it. The A.O. Williams motto is right is always right. That was our philosophy. Right's always right. It ain't almost always right. Right is always right. We studied this business before we founded A.O. Williams, and we built this on rightness. We never had to back in the door. We never had to worry about somebody coming in and proving that we screwed people like the cash value industries screwed people. Right is always right. That was a foundational principle. We believed at A.O. Williams we had to have a competitive edge. We looked at the industry. We saw the most powerful industry in the world. We saw people that were spending, companies like Prudential, New York Life, Northwestern Mutual, all those crap heads, spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising, all that kind of stuff. We didn't have any money. So what we did is we tried to take all the cost out of the product and take them to the kitchen table, because nobody liked life insurance agents. We were going to take them to the kitchen table where they were weak and we were strong, because we dealt with warm markets. I never called cold anybody on the telephone. I never knocked on a stranger's door. I always dealt in a warm market. I'd go recruit an influential person in a community, and then we'd go talk to their friends, and then I'd recruit their friends and help them build a team, and then we'd go talk to their friends. And that's the way we spread all over the United States, in Canada. We took the enemy to the kitchen table, and we made two promises. When we sat down, I said, I promise you this: if I can't give you the same protection you now have and cut your cost 70 to 80%, we're not talking about little money. We're talking about thousands and tens of thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. If I can't give you the same protection you now have and cut your cost 70, 80%, or take the same dollars you're now spending and give you 8 to 10 times more protection, I don't deserve your business. Now, how do we do that? I mean, there's a lot of things, but let me just give you 3 examples. In advertising, Prudential spent $68 per policy advertising, floating that rock down the river. A.O. Williams spent 4 cents. As I always said, you know, I spent my 20 years trying to find who spent that 4 cents, and I was going to fire them. And number 2, the cost of coming full-timers. You know, they believed in hiring somebody full-time and giving them a salary, the competition, the enemy that is, and giving them an office and giving them a secretary and giving them a desk and giving them a telephone and giving them a chair to sit in and all that crap. And Equitable ran an ad in the New York Times one day, full-page ad, that said they spent $150,000 per agent. A.O. Williams spent nothing. We'd go give people a chance, an opportunity, and you had to pay for your own dadgum license, but see, good people would do that. And what we did is we took that cost of all those full-timers and that chair and that telephone and that carpet on the floor and that air conditioning. We took all that cost out of the product and we took it to the kitchen table and we reduced the cost of the product and we killed them. And we had one product. We sold one product. We streamlined this thing. This is one of my favorite pieces. This is worth millions to me. This is Prudential's rate book. 170 pages. I think, no, 167 pages. And this is A.O. Williams' rate book, 1 page. Ain't that something? See, we streamlined this thing. Right is always right. We made it simple. We dealt with the heart. We dealt with important things. And our competition dealt with the business things, the advertising, the products, the compensation, sales aids, all that kind of crap. We did that too, but that was secondary. See, the key to winning, to being the best you can be, is this much. It's this much. You got to love it. And you can't ever stop loving it until you get out of it. You got to love it. You owe that to your people as a leader. You got to be passionate. You win with your heart, not your head. You got to love it. You got to love it. You got to love your people. It's not good enough to love your people. You got to show your people that you love them. And the way you show your people that you love them is spending time with them. You got to spend time. We're not throwing a lot of crap up against the wall. We're giving people a chance to change their life. Give them a chance to change your life. Spend your time doing the important things. I love you guys.